Okay, so welcome everyone. This is Akash here, and we have Rahul with us. So this is a initial segment of the campus placement series that we have come up with. So basically, just an attempt from us alumni to get the juniors through this tough times. I know placement season is around the corner in a couple of months, so we just wanted to help you guys on how to prepare or what challenges we faced, and just wanted to get you on board with how this process actually works. And yeah, I mean the COVID situation is gonna change a couple of things, so we'll try to include that in our discussions as well. So before we move forward, we have Rahul Raman with us. Rahul is currently pursuing his master's in the Penn State University in back in the US, and he passed out in the year 2019 from the Electric and Electronics branch. Yeah, 5 year jokes coming along, I know,
That was
but
really fun.
he did pretty well in it, and he managed to get a placement from Deloitte USA. So in the first section, we are going to cover the consulting companies, and not just any consulting companies. We are covering Deloitte, top of the food chain, one of the dream companies for many students. So before we begin, there's just one thing I'd like to tell about Rahul. So Rahul is a dear friend, but you can consider him as a Indian version of the professor from Money Heist. He has plans. He has backup plans. His backup plans have backup plans which landed him both with an awesome GRE score and a job placement at Deloitte USA. So Rahul, over to you. First of all, thank you so much for joining
No
today.
problem, no problem.
And let's just get straight into it. So like placement season is around the corner, 2 months to go. Like
Mhm.
what and when did you exactly start preparing for your placements exactly?
Okay, so main preparation, if you can say, was the summer before coming for the placements. I think that's when most of us start preparing for the placements. So when the sixth semester got over, because our placement season starts from the seventh semester. So yeah, the foundation was laid during the sixth semester as well, because that was the time when a few of those seniors who were on the campus, I was interacting with them. I was asking them what are the basic layout of the placement pattern, like in how many rounds is it conducted, how many companies come, which companies you should put as a dream company, and which companies you should target, which companies usually require a high GPA and everything. So
Okay. So like
the foundation, yeah, it started from there. Then during the summer vacations, I used some of the online resources, such as IndiaBix. It's a really good platform according to me. You can practice a lot for the OT. I think if you go through the IndiaBix website more than once, I think the OT should be a breeze. It shouldn't be a problem at all.
okay.
And I also used Geeks for Gigs. There were some interview questions, and also OT aptitude questions there. You can cover Geeks for Gigs and IndiaBix. I think that should be sufficient for you to get through the initial OT test, because a lot of my peers in the seventh semester who had really good GPAs as well could not clear the first OT test, because I think there was a 50% elimination on the OT test itself. So you need to have a lot of aptitude questions and verbal questions practice from these websites, which will help you clear that, because that's the first step which leads you to your GD, impromptu, anything, and finally to the interview.
Absolutely.
So you
Yeah,
should
yeah.
definitely not know that, because I see a lot of people practicing for group discussions and interviews, but they do not practice. They assume that the OT should be easier
Cakewalk,
or
yeah.
should be done.
Hmm.
So you need to work there, because that's the basic screening. If you don't clear whatever you're planning for after that, it doesn't matter at all.
Absolutely.
So yeah, you need to prepare a lot there. Yeah.
I mean,
One thing which helped me in my favor was I was practicing I was giving the GRE exam as well, because my first priority was coming here for my
mhm.
masters. So that did help me a bit in the verbal section as well, because the verbal section in the GRE is really at a really high level than the aptitude test we get there. But I think if you do practice a lot from these sources, there may be other sources as well. A lot of people practice from the R.S. Agrawal book, and there are. I think you should refer to more of. I think some of the other seniors will give you other resources as well. I personally used IndiaBix and Geeks for Geeks. That proved to be sufficient for me. But yeah, you can use other resources as well.
Absolutely. I
So
mean,
that was as far as the book is concerned.
yeah, I mean,
And
wonderfully. Mhm.
yeah,
I was
yeah,
just saying,
go ahead.
wonderfully put, Rahul. I mean, you have covered almost the initial part, but like before going deeper into the OT part, I just wanted to ask you, like, did you have any specific company in mind? Or just like, I'm gonna sit for whatever company which comes through, and I'm just have to get one offer from the college. Like that was a goal, or you just had, Deloitte USA on
Uh,
your side?
I mean, I knew that the core companies not come in bulk. The companies which come in bulk are coding software companies and consultancy companies. So if you are in a mechanical, civil, or an electrical, you expect a lot of core companies to come, but the reality is they do not come as much as they should. So my yeah, that is the sad reality. So I had already at that point of time I had already drafted my SOP and everything. So for me personally, it was just securing a backup option. If I do not get into my dream universities or go to universities, then I should have a job on hand and pursue that job for a year or two, gain work experience and improve my resume and come here again.
Absolutely. A job offer at a dream university together in COVID times. I mean, people would be killing you in the comment section right now. But those are different times. These are different times. But
Yeah.
again, as you wonderfully put, like OT is something which you have to prepare, and you mentioned all those beautiful resources as well. One thing I would also like to add over here is like some companies, have different OTs. I mean, not for all companies. Like for some companies, certain section of the questions are asked more. Like for example, for the Deloitte ones, you get a lot of questions from the log sections, and for the companies, you get more of PNC permutation combinations question. So these are things which you should go and look forward in websites like Quora or the ones which Rahul mentioned, and prepare for companies accordingly. Okay, so moving forward, Rahul, after the OT, the second step is obviously the group discussion, or in your case, you had something called as impromptu. So tell
It's a
us
jam session, just a minute session we had, I
yeah,
clearly
yeah,
remember. So basically, after the OT clearance shortlist came, we were told to assemble in the library hall on the fourth or fifth floor in the library, and there. I think we had to fill out the preferences beforehand. So I think the OT list was also according to that. USI consulting had a different list, USI India had a different list, and USI advisory had a different list. So yeah, so last year, the batch previous to us, even there in the USI consulting division, the students who were there, they were told at the last minute that there was going to be a jam session, just a minute session where you will be given a topic, you think about it for 15 seconds and immediately start and speak on it for a minute. So I did have a little intent, like I did have a little intuition regarding that might be the scenario again. So fortunately, uh, some 2 or 3 days before, I practiced jam sessions as well as group discussions, strategies with my roommate and my other friends on the in the hostel. So that might have helped me. I do not know very I do not know for sure if that helped a lot or not, but definitely you should be prepared for anything that is put to you in front of you because anything can happen.
you should prepare
Especially with the
for.
consulting company, they want to see how prepared and how you can tackle different situations when you're put into it all of a sudden.
Absolutely. I mean, you
So
should
yeah.
prepare. I just like to stop you over there. Like he said, you should prepare for anything that comes for you, just like the professor would think. But before moving forward, I mean, I'm sorry to cut you in between. Please complete that. But also tell us something about, the importance of soft skills when preparing for a consulting company like Deloitte. Because yes, we are aware that soft skill is not something you can master instantaneously. But I believe there are two type of people. One who just possess them and just good with them. Second type of the one who maybe you could say just lack a certain polish. So what advice would you give to the people who just fall in the second category and want to make it big in the interviews for the consulting firms?
Okay. So consulting companies, they want to see your personality as well as your technical skills, whatever knowledge you possess. So for that, you need to have, like Akash pointed out, you need to have soft skills. So what exactly are soft skills? Soft skills are those skills which are essential to a company like communication, leadership involvement, and things on those lines which are non-technical but which are important for your job as well. If you are good in coding and you cannot sell your product, you cannot pitch it to the audience, the product will fail eventually. And more and more emphasis by the companies is given on the soft skills over the coming years. And so for developing a soft skills, I would say our college has a huge opportunity to do so. There are numerous clubs. I mean, you can literally go and join any club. There are more and more student bodies and clubs coming along. So what I did was in the first year I joined 3 clubs. Maybe not. You shouldn't do that many, but you should be a part of at least one club, is what I feel. And I did go on to be a management committee and a board member of a club as well. And even if you don't want to go very deep into the clubs, I think being in a student organization helps because you can interact with your peers. When you're organizing events, you have to sell your event to students. So you like it or not, you have to do it. And at that point, you are improving your communication skills and you are improving your leadership skills because you kind of coordinate with people around you in the club. And so those are the opportunities. Also student organizations like technical organizations in our club, Formula Manipal and everything else. There as well, it's more of a technical base, but there as well you're working in a team. So wherever you're working in a team, you're developing your soft skills in the college.
Absolutely.
So yeah, that gives you a platform to develop your
Absolutely.
soft skills.
Wonderfully
Participate in
put.
that.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, wonderfully put. I mean, I completely second that. And also, I believe those interactions with your peers would not add that much on your resume, but kind of develops your character, as Rahul rightly wanted to say, and just maybe improves you as a person. Now, coming to the next part which you have is the interview. Now, I do understand interviews when you go for a technical or let's say a branch core company to that of a consulting company's interviews differ a lot. So, like
Yeah.
in case of consulting companies, what are the interviews? Are they a mixture of technical and management stuff? Or they just want to check your soft skills or logical reasoning? What is that about?
Okay, so from what my personal experience was, there was not a lot of technical stuff. There were not a lot of technical questions though. First off, if you don't know a thing properly, do not put it on your resume because resume is the only thing they have it there, and they will grill you on that properly. So in my case, like all my peers are putting a lot of coding languages, C, C++, Java, Python. At that point of time, I only knew a little bit of Python and a little bit of C++. So I put that, and in the bracket I put only basic level because I knew if I write it as a whole, they will assume that he knows everything in it, and they might put it. And if you cannot answer, then it looks very very
Absolutely.
poorly. I think it's almost a reject because you're telling them lies at the first step itself. So how are they supposed to trust you and hire you?
Absolutely.
So the first step is very essential that please do not put anything on your resume which you're not sure about, or put only things which you know you can answer to a certain extent in the interview. Only then you put it in. So yeah, in my interview, first I tried to convince my interviewer that yes, I will be suited for the role. I have a lot of leadership skills because I have been involved in a lot of clubs and everything, because that was my USP at that point of time. And my GPA in the initial semesters were really low, and it had kind of a steady increasing path. So if she did ask me about the low GPA in the initial semesters, which I was able to explain it to her because of a new environment and everything. So I did. You have to put a positive spin on anything negative. You have to try to put a positive spin on anything negative they try to point out, because you are explaining yourself and you are trying to get out of that situation. So from what I analyzed was they were trying to put us in a difficult situation and see how we are reacting to it. So when I was explaining this, she point blank said, "Okay, that's all fine, but it's a coding job. You'll be coding, and in your resume you do not have a lot of coding experience. So why should I hire you?" Straightforward,
Exactly.
point blank, straightforward, a question. So yeah, at that point, if I would have flustered and I would have said no, I would have, I'll just do it. It's my responsibility. How is she supposed to believe me? So I told her that before coming here, I had no leadership skills, experience, no work experience, and no team experience. But after coming here, I involved myself in a lot of things, a lot of new things. I was involved in organizing a tech fest, working with 40 people, which I had no prior experience for, but I still went up and did the best of my job. So you have to be very convincing. That is very important for consulting companies, as far as I know, because even though people may have certain coding languages and everything set out on their resume, they still might not be able to convince it properly. So your convincing skills is what they're looking for the most, as far as I can feel. And yeah, so you need to give a strong logical valid points. You need to convince them why you are suitable for the job, and it's not just saying ki, yes, I will do it when the time comes. How are they supposed to believe you that you'll do it when
Exactly.
the time? You have to give real examples of what you have done in your life that will serve as a platform for you to
Exactly.
actually do the job when the time comes. So
So basically, what
that's it.
Rahul has wonderfully tried to tell us that basically in consulting interviews, you have to be good and you just have to sell yourself and just
Yeah.
show them what you're capable of doing. Wonderful. Now, just let's talk about the elephant in the room and the situation which is going on currently is COVID-19, coronavirus, Chinese virus, whatever way you want to put it on. But that has certainly affected all the things around us and definitely will have an impact on the placement sessions coming up. It's true, a lot of companies have freezed their recruitment process. Some of them will probably not even come to for campus placement. Some of them will come, but just had a very few people compared to what they usually are known for. So in this situation, these troubling and testing times, what advice would you give to our juniors, who are just panicked and who are just scared at it and don't know what to do? I mean, what would you tell them, like briefly, if you had to
Yeah.
just?
So first of all, I would like to say that you're not in this alone. Even I have been affected by this because I was looking for my internship over here, and all the
Absolutely.
companies basically have went on a hiring freeze. They're not. I'm getting replies almost daily on my email. Ki, I'm sorry, this position is closed. I'm sorry, we're not recruiting for now. Or if they basically they're saying that we are not hiring right now. So it's okay. You're not going through this alone. Is what I'm going to say to them, and this is not going to last forever. Maybe your plans of joining immediately after the college may not be there. In that time, you polish your resume, you do online courses, you try to improve your job skills, which are essential for you when the hiring process does start. Because as far as I know, when it will start after all this is over, they will hire in bunch. And at that point, you need to be prepared. So this is an opportunity for you to improve your skills, build up your resume, be prepared, make connections within the people in the industry who can maybe recommend you. And yeah, I think that's the most important thing which you can do for now, because you're not going through this alone. A lot of people are going through this with you. And when the things resume to normal, companies will be looking to hire. Some companies are still hiring, but I know that it's a very less number, less percentage of them. But like I said, like things are not going to be permanently like this, and they're bound to improve. Maybe 3 months, maybe 6 months, maybe a year as well. I know some of you may be on loans, you require it, you require an immediate job and all. So you can look for them in the meanwhile. You can, if it's an emergency for you, you can definitely try to go into anything. But if it's not a very immediate concern for you, I think you should focus on developing your skills. You should first of all, talk to people in the industry, especially use LinkedIn, use other platforms. If you can talk to the hiring, if you can make a connection with the hiring managers of the companies directly, they can just tell you what exactly skills they need or they're looking for when they're hiring people. And from that point, all you have to do is work on those skills. So yeah, I mean, the things will change. They will return to normal. Maybe not very soon, but they will one day. And when that time comes, you should not regret that you did not do anything in the meantime when you had time, when you were at home. And because at that time, people who have worked on their skills will capitalize and they will get in. So instead of feeling sorry for the situation, the thing I can say is put a positive spin on it. I'm doing the same thing. I'm making connections with people of my university who are working in good companies. I'm talking to them and I'm asking them what do I need to do, which courses should I take, which skills do I need to improve myself at, because when the time comes and when the hiring process starts again, you need to be at the top of the pile. The company should want to take you because they will want to take people because they're not taking them now. So they will. So
Absolutely. I mean, as I said before the interviews, backup plans, ke backup plans. Rahul, thank you so much for joining us. And just guys, be positive. Everything
yeah,
is gonna be fine, and you're the batch of 21. For those who are just about to go in. I mean, people will remember you. You are destined to do good things, great things. Times are tough, but tough times make tough people. And so this is just our first edition. Thank you so much, Rahul, and we'll be coming up with more. So in the comment section, just put the name of the companies, and trust me, we will find those people, colleagues, friends, etc., and we'll get them on this call, maybe just to help you and give you gist on what you should prepare, to just have one foot inside your dream company.
you can
So
put in my email address and my contact number as well if someone wants to communicate with me regarding masters as well as the placement process. Particular if someone wants.
absolutely, absolutely, Rahul. We'll surely do that. Put it in the section below. So thank you so much, everyone. That would be all. Thank you.